box around her and she'll break the glass. If you try to cage her in, she'll light the match. Oh, she's like an animal, it's in her blood. She will turn every chain into dust, into dust, into dust. Like the wind is free, like the water's deep. She's a burning rush. If you try to take what is in the watch her turn her life into dust, into like the wind is free, like the water's deep. She's a burning rush. If you try to take what is in the watch her turn her life into dust, into ruler of stars, like Cleopatra waging wars, a goddess in the human form. The queen of hearts, ruler of stars, like Cleopatra waging wars, a goddess in the human form. Into dust, into
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CEA. We have our Open League here today. It's going to be the first matches streamed in the Open League this season. My name is Keglenek, and with me, casting together for the first time, hopefully first of many, we have Blue Card with us as well. What's up, my guy? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good after that warm welcome, Keg. I mean, yeah, you got me hooked. You got my heart already. Today,
Do my
ahead of
best.
us, we have a pretty interesting matchup here. We have North Carolina State University against University of Cincinnati. So North Carolina was actually an invite team last season, and unfortunately, they got relegated back down into Open. But they're going to be fighting for their spot, and of course, Cincinnati is going to be trying to stop them and taking that spot for themselves. But this is game one of the season, so they got quite the road ahead of them. Being that, we're going to be starting with two maps here tonight. We're going to be starting with Consulate and then going to Clubhouse, Consulate being Cincinnati's pick. Keg, what do you think about when you think of Consulate?
Well,
First thing.
Consulate has a very interesting history, of course, in competitive Siege. Naturally, everyone wants to look at, the top tier Siege, the Pro League, the national leagues that are going on right now. There are some very interesting results, of course, trickling all the way throughout from the tier, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scenes. Why not? I'm sure there's a tier 7. But when it comes to the collegiate scene, it's a broad mix of all different sorts of how teams like to play. And I think Consulate is kind of the epitome of all that put together, Blue. I think there will be a lot of interesting strategies, but I also think there will be some struggles for both teams. We've been seeing a lot of recent additions, or I guess I should also say, kind of nuances brought out, especially for the garage defense, where we see a lot of players now hard supporting themselves inside that upstairs bathroom on the middle floor. And so, what I'm really curious about overall is, are we going to see North Carolina employ these strats, or are they going to go for a much more linear play style for their defense? And with CDAP's on board, he's a commentator as well. I have a lot of faith that we are going to see much more nuanced strats like those going forward.
I'd really hope to see it. And, Consulate is such a hard map to get into just in general. And especially with like the generic Thatcher ban that you tend to see almost every single game nowadays, getting that garage open can be quite difficult. Of course, not impossible in Siege. There's always multiple ways to do things. You can always take above, soft breach, bring a Cali. I know she just got a nice little pocket F2, but without further ado, we're going to be getting right into the bans here. Right off the bat, North Carolina is going to be taking Thatcher off the board. Like I was saying, typical. I don't think I've seen a game recently that's had Thatcher not banned.
Yeah, Thatcher's in a weird spot right now where he did get nerfed, but there are still a lot of opportunities where his gadget, of course, is still extremely strong for a lot of the meta that we're in right now. When it comes down to it, there are other viable operators now with the release of Ace, or at least the unquarantining of Ace being brought to the game. Does allow a little bit more variety and mixture into the play, but something a little bit we don't see as much is the Jackal going down, and that's a really interesting choice in my opinion. I can understand for the roam clear, you do have you do have North Carolina who do like to primarily play the roam clearing style for their attacks. But with that being said, though, it's still an odd choice leaving Maverick and Ace on the board.
Yeah, and of course, finishing Cincinnati's bans off, they're going to be getting rid of the Maestro. Kind of another typical ban. You don't see him played very much. You almost always see a Maestro or an Echo ban, one of the two, of course. But just getting that intel off the board is going to be give North Carolina just a little bit tougher time defending. They're going to have to rely on someone like Echo or Valkyrie as intel operators instead of that Maestro. But you did say Ace is now unquarantined, and with Ace comes Malusi, and she's an operator that I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about. So I don't know. I can't wait to see her played in competitive settings.
It's gonna be interesting. Let's put it that way. North Carolina, interestingly, now correct me if I'm wrong, Blue. They did go and ban the Maestro pick, which is interesting in of itself. But there's also Taco on their team, who typically mains that hard support Maestro, but rather this time around standing in one corner, using his evil eyes, he's in fact going to be going away from the castle. Haha, just kidding. Not quite the castle. Going to 6th pick into the Echo. So a much similar token to the Maestro pick, but instead going to be having those yokais to really help delay those late game pushes or those plant denials. But of course, we were talking about it earlier. We do have the ace on the board, and of course, mixed in with the Nomad and Zofia, IQ, and Capitao. This is already looking like a really nasty attacking roster.
Yeah, on the flip side, though, Malusi coming out from North Carolina. Again, that sort of
True.
annoying operator slowing everyone down. But kind of interesting to see Cincinnati's 6-pick from the Twitch onto the IQ, almost reading into North Carolina's 6-pick from the Castle onto the Echo. So good try from North Carolina, but I guess Cincinnati's just on top of it with the 6-picks right now.
Yeah, the 6-pick game was really strong for North Carolina. I do like how the Castle did swap away from the Echo, because Castle can really change the entire site by himself, essentially. And, you know, kind of juking out what was going to be probably going through the minds of Cincinnati, just having that kind of thought play being almost completely transversed around is going to throw a bit of a wrench into the plans of Cincinnati, but it also makes things a little bit easier. They can push much more linearly, and they don't have to worry about those barricades anymore. Something I do want to focus on right now is that we do have the mute. It's going to be C-Dabs himself holding inside bathroom. So those little bit more nuanced strats are going to be employed. He's playing a much more aggressive style on this bathroom play rather than hiding in the stalls. He's hiding behind an iron shield. Patch is open, but if anyone, or two people rather, were to rush in, especially with those soft breach holes opening up on his right, that could spell doom for him.
Yeah, but Cincinnati not looking like they're going to be taking this very aggressively. They'd rather play it slow and steady. The good old saying, slow and steady wins the race. We're going to have to see if this holds true in this circumstance here. Cincinnati just taking full control of the top floor. It is now fully droned out. They know it's completely clear. They're just taking out some default cams from above. But sites all the way on the bottom floor. They have a lot of vertical presence that they have to clear through, and not much going on. I feel like this is almost a big waste of time, and North Carolina really isn't doing much to waste it.
That's a very good point. We're not seeing a whole lot of drone play coming out from the attacking team. We are seeing a lot of roam clearing, but the time is still going down. That's a lot of time that could have been spent in the pre-game or in the setup phase looking around to see if there's going to be any roamers. Now, from the looks of it, it seems like there really aren't going to be too many roamers playing outside the objective other than C-Daps himself, but already he's going to be facing a few issues, especially with, a soft breach that was seemingly not found. Coming right on behind him, he does escape in the nick of time, but no, he still gets shot out from his calves. His ankle's blown away. Already with a huge misplay going down, there's no way that was intentional, and with that already giving up piano, vertical play going to be in effect for these attackers, and suddenly, if you're on North Carolina's side, you're probably sweating a little bit. You know, C-Daps was saying all about how he's going to be the interviewee for the end of this game, but already, round number 1, Blue, it's looking like maybe there's a contestant for having Cincinnati be interviewed here.
Oh no, of course. C-Daps had to say something, and then he's not going to get it. That's just generally how that works. But Cincinnati making some sort of presence on the site now. 30 seconds left, though. They're going to have to try to move just a little bit quicker. They do have the man advantage now, as well as quite a bit of utility at their disposal. Zof and Capitao still have all of their utility, and it's going to start to get dumped with the asphyxiation bolts coming out from Capitao, but the counter smokes from Drew, kind of cutting off some rotates in. A quick trade. Drew smokes out Dark Matter, but Eraser with another pick on Crim. DLC pushing down those yellow stairs is going to find Taco, and Eraser pushing from the back is going to find Drew. It's not just down to Predator, but DLC will find him as well. And yeah, Cincinnati looking kind of slow to start there, but the collapse at the end of the site looked almost completely dominant, only losing one player in that skirmish.
Yeah, overall, UC Black looked really dominant. Throughout the entirety of the round, we were harping on them in the beginning for wasting a lot of time, so it seemed, going from the top into admin and just transversing and roam clearing all of the upper floor. But, you know, minus having some of that drone work done, they really made quick haste once C-Daps was taken down from bathroom. The vertical play was there. From there, the horizontal play with the garage walls opening up just led to a complete collapse, in your words, Blue Card, that really benefited against them. Now, it's interesting for Cincinnati Black because, in fact, they're a relatively new team, all things considered. All the players are not very new with one another, but recently they did have 3 rosters, but they actually condensed it down into 2. So it's a kind of a blender right now of having all sorts of different Cincinnati collegiate teams kind of forming together right now into a super team, if you will. And super team it is because they've already had a very dominant start to this game.
Yeah, North Carolina looking a little shaky at the end. I thought they may have been able to pull that off with the smoke canisters that Drew had, but unfortunately just wasn't able to cut down those entry points just well enough. But North Carolina thinking that, hey, we can try it again. We're gonna do better this time.
Oh, they are getting that wall.
Reinforcing that third wall. Yeah, he definitely wants that one reinforced if he's going to be playing there. That was a complete weak point for their bathroom hold up top. But good on North Carolina for realizing that and adapting and trying to at least go basement again. Hopefully Steps will be able to hold bathroom this round a bit better with that wall reinforced. But with Ace still on the board, he has 3 of those Selmas at his disposal. He could drop one on the bathroom wall if he really needs to. So CDAP's still not completely safe in bathroom.
Absolutely. Now keep in mind, Dark Matter is the only hard breacher on the attacking side right now. He's got to be careful where he wants to use those Selmas. Putting them on the bathroom wall, I think, would be an ideal location to put them. But the other 2 need to be really conservative about how he wants to execute with. You could put them on the garage windows, or I suppose on the wall itself. You could use them for the hatches as well if there aren't any, or any that are currently reinforced besides the bathroom one. So he's got to be very careful, and most of all, even with the diffuser in hand, he needs to keep himself alive. We are seeing a slower push right now, Roam clearing the top floor. Again, no roamers being played, no one from North Carolina's side really showing up. It's going to be CDAPS again on the middle floor in his lonesome, hiding behind that iron shield, getting a little antsy, tapping around, but it's going to be the rest of North Carolina who are holding down at the bottom, holding these angles.
I am kind of disappointed Presto isn't bringing that new secondary hard breach gadget. Capitao does have access to that, so it would be just a little bit more hard breach potential on the board for Cincinnati, but apparently they don't feel like they need it. Eraser here putting some shots towards CDAPS over that that deployable shield rather, but nothing quite landing. CDAPS just playing very patient behind that shield. Mute and Smoke's loadout, both actually identical, excels at close range. They never want to take a peek that would be too aggressive, because that shotgun and that SMG-11 absolutely obliterates at close range. But good utility coming out from Presto, using that asphyxiation bolt in behind the shield over the reinforced wall, actually. And that's going to drive CDAPS out back into sight. But he has wasted almost 2 minutes already. And Cincinnati, again, kind of getting slow to this site push, but that didn't stop him last round.
It's a very similar story to what we saw last round, minus CDAP still being alive. We did see a last-second push coming out from UC Black's side, but they were able to make it work. Right now, it's a bit more of an even skirmish. We are in Archives, however. It's going to be Krim who finds DLC in the beginning, but is he able to find a second one? Hiding in towards the middle of the bottom spiral stairs. It's a bit of a stall out between those in Archives right now, waiting to see who's going to push first. It's an awkward area for everyone on Spiral right now. If they push up, they'll maybe die, but it's going to be a 2v1. Both do end up surviving. LMAO Beard Main does find Krim, however, but the time is still being wasted. Going down to 2v4 right now, it's up to CDAPS and Drew, the last ones alive. The 2 British operators, minus that 1 British operator left, trying to make the most of what he can with only just an SMG-12. Hiding around the blue van, the plant does go down, ticking down the seconds to 10. It's not quite enough. It's going to be UC Black who do get round number 2. Again, a very last-second push, just collapsing onto the site and pushing it like a gigantic tsunami. Able to really win these gunfights overall over North Carolina and secure 2 rounds on Garage in a row.
I still kind of am lost at how Cincinnati is taking that site so effectively with only 45 seconds left on the clock. That round, they didn't even get much vertical pressure in. I didn't hear any breach charges go off. I could have missed it. But that was mostly just the attack funneling down Spiral, or, you know, we had a DLC pushing down Yellow, a little bit of a split push, which is why I think that push ultimately worked out. A little bit of deviation. They're not all funneling down Spiral. But I honestly don't know how Cincinnati's winning these last few seconds out. They're just winning their gunfights. That's really what it comes down to. North Carolina doing a great job at wasting times. They have all the utility to deny plant, but you can't use utility if you're dead, and Cincinnati knows that. They're just going to go and click heads.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you bring up a good point, too, is that on North Carolina's side, we really haven't seen too much utility be used at all. And to be fair with that, the really only big major plant denial utility we see is Taco on Echo with the Yokais. Otherwise, we haven't really seen a lot in the past 2 rounds where there's a lot to really stall out, like a Goyo per se. With the Vulcan shields, we haven't really seen any of that physical denial. It's mostly just losing out on the gunfights and trying to hold these positions that simply do not work. But we are going over to the new site now. We are seeing the top floor for the first time. We are seeing console office. And I'm curious to see how this is going to go. Typically, so far, at least for Garage, we've seen UC Black roam clear completely from the admin side, but are they going to go through the same exact process again? Or, so far, it looks like they might.
Yeah, Cincinnati just big fans of pushing in through admin office up top here. That's where they've entered every round so far, no matter where the site's been. Might encounter a little bit more resistance now that bomb site is all the way top floor. But it really looks like the only person playing it is Drew from top Visa Stairs. And no, he's going to kind of back down and get some drones from below instead. And yeah, Cincinnati just gets free entry inside of admin office here. IQ on a drone scanning, or gadget scanning for gadgets. Isn't going to find anything, but DLC is going to find the head of Drew, taking Bandit off the board very early on. That's a Nitro down, but in terms of utility, that's not the worst operator to lose early on. Bandit does place his Bandit wires down. He doesn't have to worry about it after that. But still, a player gone that early on is never a good sign for North Carolina.
It's not a good sign, especially losing out on your MP7 that early on can only be pure pain for North Carolina's side. Right now, though, the timer's still going down. A little bit more movement being made for UC Black's side, but it's going to be a matter of them being able to hold these angles and really keep the land that they've conquered so far in this round. We do have two inside bathrooms, the Yokai watching the IQ, the Z-Ping is going to be in full effect, but no real punish coming down on top of them, minus possibly the Vigil. It's going to be a back and forth. Again, a bit of a lull in the gameplay. Just pop shots going down from pretty predictable angles, all things considered. Not a lot of headway really being made by these attackers. Of course, as I say that, Krim does find Dark Matter. It's going to be the ace going down. He finds the double kill as well. It's going to be Eraser Rain following up and dying as we say that. It's going to be your IQ as well. That brings you pretty much down to just your fragging operators trying to make something hopefully happen almost out of nothing. It's going to be the Zofia now holding down inside of admin office, waiting to see what happens next. But again, these defenders are just holding their angles. They don't want to play aggressively whatsoever, Blue.
That was actually a really amazing play coming out from Krim. They were down a man. Krim swings and gets two. That was brilliant. And now they're just playing nice and safe. This is brilliant. This is exactly what North Carolina needed. Just that little sort of boost to get him back in the game. And now they have the man advantage. In terms of health, though, still in the positive. DLC being very low, but Presto's going to be down by CDAPS and finished off by the SMG-11. And Nomad pushing in, not quite close enough on her teammate, is not going to be able to get the refrag. DLC, though, gets a two-piece as he pushes up long desk. CDAPS finally finishing off Nomad, and Taco will finish off the Nomad from the back. I'm assuming from, yeah, what looks like bathroom. She was trying to help her teammate here in Projector, but unfortunately, Taco was covering CDAPS, who was holding down Projector extraordinarily.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough ending for UC Black there. Just being brought down to pretty much some area denial, some vision denial operators as well, trying to make this small little push through only a single entryway. It was CDAPS there behind that shield who got the SMG-11, who got the shotgun kill in tandem, all up against DLC, who was pretty much doing the same thing, only on the other side of the room. But it was them who came out on top there, and I think that was a really strong performance from the defenders. They aren't as comfortable, it seems, on the roam game. They just want to turtle in and hold those angles. And a site like Cons, that was exactly what you wanted to see. The big question is now, you can't really do the same thing for lobby. You can to an extent, of course. You might want to hold upstairs and hold those angles, but a little bit more free-flowing play needs to be utilized for this site. And this might be, again, another downfall for NSCU's team, unless UC Black really drops the ball this round.
I'm not sure. The pulse coming out from Predator could almost turn the tides here. If he gets a sneaky nitro from below, utilizing that cardiac sensor he has in his pocket, he could get a pick, a free pick, or maybe even a double. I'm crossing my fingers for it. I love me some nitro kills. But on the flip side, Eraser Rain on the IQ is going to be trying to prevent that. I don't know if they even know that North Carolina is bringing a pulse. I believe they sixed him. So Eraser's really going to have to be on top of their game to spot this cardiac sensor out. But in the meantime, nothing's looking too crazy setup-wise. The Melusi setting some of her gadgets up. She's already got 2 of her Banshees down, probably to stop and slow the push if Cincinnati tries to push through admin, considering that's where they've pushed every time. But right off the bat, a quick trade. Predator finds DLC, but Eraser with a quick refrag will find Predator. That's the pulse off the board right away. I'm sure he was caught on his scanner. He had to flip off quick and did find DLC. But Eraser found him back. Taco, though, with a nice pick onto Beardmane. I'm not sure where from. I want to say that was probably from site. Generally, Echo will sit in Antechamber. But no, it's actually Echo's in Garage right now, trying to take the firefight with Eraser, who's all the way bottom spiral. It's not looking too good here. Presto trying to move in to give his teammates some sort of assistance here. And Dark Matter all alone now with Diffuser inside of Visa. He's not going to go with his teammates. It's kind of interesting to see. He's not going to drop. He's going to stick Visa here and probably try to cover their flanks here. Yeah, Krim looking like he wants to try to push up a little bit, but he's not going to be too aggressive here.
A peculiar situation right now for Krim. If he moves up past down the spiral stairs, he's most certainly going to face a barrage of bullets from either the left or right side. But it's going to be the Echo right now, holding down right behind. No, how did you not see them, Eraser Rain, through the little yellow pole? It's going to be Taco who finds Eraser Rain. Your flex player, your IQ, completely gone. It's going to be down to 2 left alive against the Titans of 4 on North Carolina's side. You do have Selma still, or should I say Ace with the Selma gadgets, and you have Presto Dragon on the Capital, completely separated. Well, no, not separated, in fact. They are together, but alive. They have power and numbers to be condensed a little bit. Of course, as I say that, it's going to be the Melusi that does find them. And Drew, in fact, getting the double kill at the very end, able to connect both shots together. It was just an absolute ambush coming out from NCSU, bringing home together a double kill right there on your screen. That is exactly what you want to see from North Carolina. They've string together 2 in a row, bring it back to an even 2-2 as we approach the end of the first half.
I have no idea if Cincinnati's main goal was just to try a very aggressive push right off the bat there, but it just got completely and utterly shut down by North Carolina. Eraser and DLC running into Predator right off the bat, and then from the other side, I believe it was Beardmane who ran into Taco. But either way, just completely shut down that aggressive push. Props to NCSU there. I don't know. If I was Cincinnati, I'd be kind of crushed after that round. But NCSU bringing it back up 2-2. They got some sort of momentum going now, and it seems like after that round, they've almost completely taken it away from Cincinnati. But in saying so, NCSU has lost this basement bomb site both times they've tried to go in the basement. They've won the other 2 sites, so now this is their only option unless they wanted to try the split floor, which I don't blame them for not trying it. I really dislike that site. But now that they have the momentum on their side, this site could play out very differently.
It's let me start again. It's a non-ideal situation for NCSU right now. They have to go this site. They could go split, but again, like you mentioned, Blue, it's not a situation where you really want to go there voluntarily most of the time. CDAPS, of course, making sure that one soft wall is going to be all set. You want to make sure that's good in case what happened round number 1 does not happen again. But overall, it really just needs to come down to winning those gunfights for North Carolina's side. If they're not able to hold those angles and win the gunfights accordingly, they're in for a really rough time. And we do see one operator hiding out inside of admin. I believe that's going to be Krim on the Melusi. If that Melusi can even get as far as 1 pick at the beginning here and hide themselves out, this would be an absolute game changer. But right now, this Melusi's pinched. I don't think either of the 3 people involved know that they're pinched. It's been the Melusi opening up those pop shots onto the Capital, but no, none of the 3 are able to connect the shots on each other whatsoever, and the Melusi gets away scot-free.
That was a good read coming out from Krim there, and probably North Carolina in general, realizing that Cincinnati pushes through admin every single round, no matter the bomb site. So I'm assuming Krim was going to try to get just a nice cheeky pick right off the bat, but unfortunately Cincinnati's droning was just on point, and it looked like Krim was found out before anyone even opened up those windows. But regardless, Cincinnati still has the top floor completely clear, only 10 seconds about behind where they were the first couple rounds they attacked the site, and seeing how they turned out, Cincinnati's still sitting in a pretty good spot right now. Just Presto getting off those drones, starting to push up a little bit. It's going to be CDAPS again holding Bathroom on this deployable shield. Eraser, though, on the IQ, opening up that wall above him. Going to be trying to root him out of this corner, but hopefully without him dropping that hatch. And yeah, CDAPS will take a little bit of damage from that asphyxiation bolt from Capitao, but he gets to drop the hatch, and he's back on site now. Plus, he has that Nitro in his back pocket. He could chuck it and give the attackers a nice surprise, but no, Predator is going to give Dark Matter a nice surprise as he finds his head through the hatch, probably over the shield as well. Almost finding Eraser there too, but not quite. That's the hard breacher off the board for Cincinnati.
Yeah, a very rough dance with death that CDAPS had. He managed to get his way out again, but we do see that secondary hard breach coming out now from Presto, and that's going to be opening up that wall that was so controversial so many rounds ago. Right now, it's a bit of a skirmish on the lower floor now, moving their way from the above down to the lower areas. It's going to be through the soft breach wall, not able to connect with anybody. Knife versus knife, only one win a bar fight like that. It's going to be DLC taking down Krim, and the Malusi, unfortunately dead. Her Banshee still placed in an unknown location, but as the attackers enthrall themselves onto the site, it's down to the remaining North Carolinians to make sure that they can do whatever they can as they're slowly being pushed back through their trenches. It's going to be the IQ down. Eraser Rain going to be out for the count at the moment, but gets picked back up with only 20 health. LMAO does find Predator as well, and it's going to bring it down to a 3v4 with the clock being less than 10. Plans do go down, but only one person matters right now. That's the one planting the diffuser. Everyone else getting an absolute string of death. The kill feed runs orange with the death coming out from UC Black. That is absolutely what you want to see. 3 garage rounds now in a row going to the name of Cincinnati. It's looking like a really strong attacking side for them, but unfortunately going to the final round now for this first half, it's going to be not garage again. So this is looking like it might be an even split going into the second half, Blue.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati has only attacked this site once. They have lost it once. But the beauty of Siege is that you get to attack it more than once. You get the chance to adapt and overcome and change your strategy up and try to do better than you did before. So it's just down to whether or not Cincinnati can take this or not. But, I mean, a 3-3 split on Consulate is not unheard of. That's pretty middle of the road. But if Cincinnati can take this 4-2 on their attacking half, they're going to be sitting pretty, if I do say so myself. But regardless, going all the way back up to CEO and Projector. No Malusi coming out from North Carolina this round. Kind of interesting to see. I want to say they've played her every single round up until now, but then again, I could just be making that up. Best guess that they have. But Cincinnati, although no crazy new ops coming out from them too, rocking pretty much the same loadout they have every round so far, but it's working for them, and don't fix it if it's not broken.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure this is the same exact team comp we had seen NCSU win previously when we were on the top floor. Predator, I think, was a Jaeger. He may have been a different operator, but everybody else was the same exact ones as before. Krim getting that nice swing into a double kill as we had seen. Yep. Hopefully he can recreate that magic again. It's going to be up to UC this time, going for a different strategy, it seems. Instead of rather attacking admin, it seems like they might be focusing more on the Western Front. Of course, just like World War I, if they focus so much on the Western Front, they may not have a very good time attacking onto the defending site, but hopefully they can recreate some magic, maybe alter history a little bit going forwards.
That was really good, and I'm kind of upset that I'm not even 100% sure. You could just be completely making that up. I'd have no idea.
The movie All's Quiet on the Western Front, I had to watch it in history class, I think, like my sophomore year of high school. It's a good movie.
History.
I love history.
Oh, all right. I'll add that one to the movie list. Cincinnati, though, looking like they're going to be trying to make a play through CEO window here. The drone's coming out is going to spot out that the yellow wall is, in fact, completely open. And Predator is going to be playing on yellow stairs. So he can sort of deny the rappel in from those stairs with those holes, those feet holes he can look through. He can look at the attacker's feet. It's not weird. It's a defensive strategy.
I mean, it's weird to you, but, you know.
Yeah, 2 ADSs on his back, too. He's going to be a hard defender to root out of there. Kind of, Taco with this nice angle and bathroom standing on the toilet looking at, again, the attacker's feet. If they were to repel into CEO, maybe NCSU just has a feet thing.
I mean, you know what? Some people are into that, and I can't say I blame them. they're not bad parts of the body. They're for some people, they're not for others. It looks like we may have a bit of a sound bug right now on the observing end. It does happen, but that's okay. It'll be like a silent film. We can silently watch one team dominate the other. So far, we are down to about a minute. Both teams still completely left alive, but pushing through the smoke, it seems. It's going to be DLC testing the waters, whether or not it's going to be a viable option to go for A side. But instead, Eraser Rain does find Drew. It's going to be the bandit who's completely gone. So far, it's a complete retelling of what we had seen in the last time we had seen Top Floor. So far, some attackers are making a little bit different headways, such on the western side of the map. But right now, it's just a game of holding the angles and see who's going to make that first mistake. And so far, it seems like those attackers are making the most of them. Eraser Rain does go down. Dark Matter is attempting to get the plant, but it's all up to the Sophia holding down the very vulnerable operator. But no, the smoke grenades from CNAPS goes down, and it's just an absolute onslaught from Krim, who finds Dark Matter at the last moment. The Sophia not much faring better. It's going to be the smoke grenades again, completely blind and dead. It's going to be CDAPS getting the second one. A double kill in his favor. He does get DB and O. It's up to Krim and others to really secure the bag. Presto and LMAO, last one's alive, but that's going to be LMAO going down next. And with that being said, it's going to be a 4-2 in the favor of the attacker's blue card going into the second half. You called it, and you were right.
I was kind of scared. I didn't see Tago on the diffuser. All I saw was Krim still looking for someone. I was like, no way they lose this because like they think someone's still left alive. Like, I've seen too many of those scenarios. Overall, prompts to Cincinnati getting that diffuser down in projector, but unfortunately they just didn't have the post plant set up to protect it. It was a 3v4, but only one person was in projector. It was Zofia all alone. And once she gets smoked out, there's really nothing much she could do. It was all down to Nomad and Capital, who were still repelled outside of CEO windows. And since that middle of the connector wall was reinforced, they can't do anything from that repel. So they both had to swing in. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a rehost try to fix this sound bug. But what a time to do that. That was such a good round. These teams are both just starting to heat up now. We're going to be going into the second half 3-3.
So something interesting I want to note is that slowly over time, at least from North Carolina's point of view or way of staging themselves, is that as each round goes on, and yes, they did lose the first 2 rounds of Garage, we've been seeing them kind of go for outlandish picks in the beginning of the game, but they've been slowly relegating themselves back to their more familiar picks. Evidence of this, of course, is that, in the beginning, the first round, we did see CDAPS on the mute pick. And since he then lost, he did go to the smoke pick, of course. Other, examples would be Pro, who did go back to the Jaeger pick, which is his favorite, of course, as well. And so we've been seeing a lot more safety coming out for North Carolina's side. And I think that's the most important aspect of what their whole play style has been against Cincinnati on their defense. Unfortunately, it's been working for the most part, except when it comes to Garage. And Garage being such a pivotal defensive site, they just got bled dry for so many rounds on that first half because of it.
I'm still kind of confused. North Carolina not winning those Garage defenses. They pretty much check the checklist off every single time. They completely clear the top 4. They start pushing down. They do vertical breach most rounds. They didn't for their second time around. But then they all just funnel downstairs. They do have hatch open, so that's a little bit of an advantage for them. But with all the utility they have to go through, they really probably shouldn't be winning those rounds out, pushing down just flights of stairs with 30 seconds left. But it's Cincinnati's ability to be able to get that diffuser down and cover the planner exceptionally well. Because in that few seconds when the clock's at 0 and the only thing keeping you in the game is the person planting, all defense has to do is put one bullet in their head, and that's round over. Defense wins, but Cincinnati is so good at covering whoever is planning, whoever it may be. It's not always the ace. Ace has been fragged early on, but it's so good. It's just they have the setup, they have the cover. It's brilliant. That's all. That's all it is.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot more coordination coming out through UC Black side. Dark Matter, of course, the dedicated hard breach, able to really kind of focus in, narrow in, kind of almost forgetting about the kills when it comes to having that diffuser in hand. He's been able to really string together getting that diffuser to the site. I haven't been keeping track to be honest, of how many plants have gone down. A lot of the rounds did end with just pure frags, but for the most part, Dark Matter has been succeeding his job really well about getting that diffuser to point A to point B, able to get that plant down. And normally it's the Zofia who's able to really back him up and get those secured kills. Yeah, I mean, not every round has ended in plants, but yeah, like you mentioned, just being able to cover each other's backs and having that coordination has been an absolute mainstay of what we had seen so far. And I do want to mention again, I don't recall, was the last defending ban Mira?
Yes, it was.
Oh, it was okay. I didn't write it down. Oops.
We kind of didn't get it because on our end it was paused a little bit.
Oh, right.
So
Yes.
we kind of jumped into prep, but yeah, I made sure I wrote it down.
Beautiful. Yeah, but interesting to note, the Maestro pick was banned. And I'm curious because I believe that was on UC's side. I could be wrong on Cincinnati's side. Maestro is one of the mainstay operators for North Carolina. I believe mainly coming out for True Taco's side. And so he did find his way through the Echo, and I think that was a really good counter choice as well. But having that Maestro gone down, that is, such a good target ban as well. You lose out on a lot of intel utility that yokais can bring out as well, but there's not as much of a destructive element to it.
It's I don't know. I've thought about this. I've thought about whether Maestro or Echo's the better denial op, and it's so hard to tell. The devs did such a good job at making them different enough, but similar. Like it's tough.
It's definitely situational. Like I would say on console, I would prefer on Maestro. There are obviously times where, on top floor, perhaps, the Echo would be better. But overall, I think the Alda is what really separates, and funny enough, the two operators so much. Because you do have the MP5S for the Echo, which is really a decent weapon. But when it comes down to it, just having the combination of that 3 armor, the Alda, and having a destructive Evil Eye, especially on that garage defense, it just compounds one after another into a huge powerhouse for the defense. Which might be another reason why we don't see them winning on these defensive rounds.
Now, I'm not sure the new sights that every operator has, but Echo with the ACOG, that was kind of my tipping point for why I thought Echo was a little bit better. But I think he's got, what, the 1.5 now?
I believe he does. And to be fair, for a while, Maestro on the Alda did have the ACOG as well. It was a weird ACOG. It was like a stubby one.
Do you remember when his hip fire was just lasers?
I do. Unfortunately, I missed the days of Parabellum.
Days.
Can you believe Parabellum was 2 years ago?
I cannot. I can't even believe
feel old.
that. Yeah, it's crazy. I've been playing this game too long.
When
But
did you
anyways, we
start?
do have both teams. I started way back. I didn't play the beta, but like it was. I think the game was officially released in like December 2015. I started playing that in January, right after.
Ah, nice. I started Velvet Shell with Mira and Jackal being released.
Ooh, that was a good season.
It was.
That was a good one to join into. But anyways, back into the game, right back into the second half on Cincinnati's defense. Now, they're going to be starting all the way up top floor. They're not going to be trying to start garage like North Carolina. I don't know if they feel that the top floor is better, that they perform better on the top floor, or if they're just kind of trying to throw North Carolina off a little bit. CDAP's bringing the Twitch, an operator we've only seen teased by Cincinnati. They sixed off of her instead of sticking to her, rather. And Beardmane on the Cade. I don't believe we've seen a Cade from North Carolina or a Mozzie as well. So a few new operators from these new sides. It's really a Cade on top floor. I'm interested to see where he's going to put his Electroclaws.
I'm definitely curious too. There are some good spots for those Electroclaws to go. I don't really think he's going to be Kai tricking them too much. My big question is, what is up with the complete role shuffle that North Carolina's been going through? CDAP's normally going to be the hard breacher, bringing out Ace. Instead of going for a more supportive role on the Twitch, and then we have Taco, who's normally a sledge or like a soft breacher, maybe even an entry frag, going to be going for the hard breach instead. So it's an interesting trickle effect to see all these different operators being shuffled together, or even the roles for NCSU's side. And I'm curious to see if that's going to affect their gameplay.
I mean, Ace and Twitch both have some just insane primary weapons. Ace is technically a hard breacher. That's how I'd class him, but he could just as easily be an entry with that AK at his disposal. It's kind of too good, but again, it's a really good weapon. And the F2 as well. I know a lot of people don't really run Twitch anymore since the F2 got a bit of recoil, but it's still really not all that much. Once you just practice a little bit with her, we're going to have to see how much CDAPs to practice with her. And with this recoil control, not too shabby, CDAPs.
Not too shabby indeed. It's all that caster knowledge he's got in his little brain.
I mean,
No, I love T-Dubs.
He's got a smooth brain. It's
Oh,
a lot more. It's a lot more better that way. Yeah. He loves a smooth brain.
Let's hope he wins this so we can say that to him in the interview. He's already self-proclaimed he's going to be the one interviewing once he, of course, wins this game. But who knows? Going 3-3 in the second half, there are no ties, no overtime. It's going to be C-Dabs who does find that opening pick after all, taking down the Kaid, so we'll never know exactly if he was planning on tricking those or not. But with that being said, though, we are seeing a complete dismantling of the top four coming out from the attacking side. We are seeing drone holes being completely taken advantage of through the prones, and the break room also having quite a bit of destruction going about it, as well as be Krim who finds dark matter, and C-Dabs just barely skating away with his own life, looking to see if he can get the refrag, but no, it's going to be Krim who's already long gone. Right now, it is 1:15 left on the clock. The attackers having a huge advantage right now, able to really dismantle a lot of the defenders' lives on this top floor. And we are just seeing pretty much the mirror mode of what was going on the other side of the last half, where everyone's just holding these angles, waiting to see what happens next. Not a lot of utility really being expelled from either side.
This is getting tough. 45 seconds left. North Carolina is gonna have to do something. They have the man advantage. Unfortunately, Krim and Taco being pretty low on HP is not gonna be good. Yeah, Krim gets felled by Eraser, who was spotted out, but Krim being under 25 is pretty much an easy target. Predator being lit very low, almost at 25 as well, but Drew's gonna find the head of Eraser. And Taco's gonna get completely killed, pushing into sight with Diffuser, but Predator pushing up after him will find Presto and pick up the Diffuser, and will not quite go for the plant just yet. It is not on just to DLC. Predator will be finally sticking it down, and it's C-Dabs and Drew to protect him. DLC not
moonwalking.
Yeah, I don't like the look of that one. He's got 3 defenders to go through, and he's not going anywhere, moving his feet.
Yeah, his game crashed. Apparently not a great look right now. That diffuser still going to be ticking down, and he inevitably leaves.
You hate to see it.
We do. Oh man. Well, at least we got one round between the two rehosts. I mean, it's always good. It looks like we have a little bit of crinkling as well after that. But overall, I do think the attackers had a really good perception of how they should attack the round. And with that, I do mean there was multiple facets of it being attacked. We did see UC when they were attacking on the top floor. They had a very linear approach of going through admin. Some towards the very end did attempt to go through on the western side through the windows, but instead, no, we saw at least 2 or 3 different avenues of the attackers going through, and this really kind of it really constricted what the defenders could do. We did see some interesting plays like Krim going down, but even then, being able to take down Krim at the end of that round and having, I think it was Malusi repositioning themselves, definitely not the play, because then they were just relegated to spiral stairs, and we already saw them almost immediately get taken down.
Yeah, I mean, just a beautiful round overall for North Carolina. Cincinnati, though, having some really nice cross angles set up. The Jaeger holding top spiral while the Mozzie was in connector, having some sort of a small cross on long desk, but a cross nonetheless. And that's the sort of setups you like to see. But unfortunately, just not quite good enough. Perhaps Vigil could have clutched that out at the end, but in a 1v3, you had attackers everywhere, one in copy, one outside of projector windows, and one top Visa. That's a very tough situation to win out. But anyway, Cincinnati is going to have a little bit of time to kind of sit back and regroup at what's been going on. They started off very strong, winning the first 2 rounds in a row, but then North Carolina came back, won the next 2. Cincinnati won 1, and now North Carolina has 2 put together, meaning that they're up by 1. for 4-3. Cincinnati just seeming to lose momentum. They had each other's backs covered really well earlier on in the game, but unfortunately, they just don't have the cover that they had earlier. They're just pushing in one by one, losing gunfights, and yeah, it's showing.
Absolutely. So hopefully with another tactical timeout coming out right now for both teams, hopefully we can see a little bit of a tactical talk going down between the both teams too to see what they can do to improve. Even, the winning teams should be able to figure out what they did wrong and see how they can improve themselves. We already have NCSU in the game. We are remaking the lobby right now, and hopefully we will have a flawless run through the games technically through the rest of the night. Now, keep in mind, this isn't your average best of 3, ladies and gentlemen. No, it's actually going to be having no... Excuse me, I have really bad hiccups after drinking that tea. We have no overtime, and we do have a best of 2. So this could very well end in a draw. We did see that last night, where it was a draw, 6-6. For both teams, 2 maps in a row. Hopefully we don't have that again tonight.
Really, I wish I watched the match last night. I have too much stuff going on. Honestly, I need to spend more time up for Siege. 6-6. I mean, so far this game looks like it's kind of headed that way, ending the half 3-3. And yeah, North Carolina's up by 1, but it's one round. One round in Siege is pretty much nothing in the long game. Quite literally the long game. Plus, there's a whole nother map. So Consulate being Cincinnati's map, you would kind of expect them to win this one out. But maybe North Carolina just plays very well on Consulate. We could see a classic blunder where each team takes each other's maps, or we could be seeing a 6-6 tie again, which is kind of looking like where it's going. But so far, opening picks, I wanted to brush on that real quick. North Carolina, 4 opening picks and 4 round wins. Cincinnati, 3 opening picks and 3 round wins. I wonder if there's a correlation there.
Correlation, causation, who cares? I mean, let's just get into it already. I want to get into this.
Same.
Because so far, it was a very lopsided beginning, all things considered, but it's really turned into a blow-to-blow matchup between the two teams, and we just need to see this conclusion now, or I'm going to explode, Blue. I'm going to explode all over my monitor, my
every round
camera.
Coming down to the wire, too. Like, it's been a good game. I'm hoping it stays close. Close games are the best games.
We have only had, I think, maybe 1 or 2 really, really fast opening picks throughout the entire series so far. One that really comes to mind, I think, was Krim getting taken down at the very beginning, like the opening 2 seconds of the round. But otherwise, like you said, we've been seeing most of the opening frags go down to maybe a minute and a half or the final minute of the round.
Yeah, both these teams really playing into that sort of 5-second meta, taking their sweet time, taking map presence, taking their sweet time, getting any sort of presence on the site, and then coming down to that last 20 seconds, just pushing, getting the diffuser down and fragging out. But anyways, Cincinnati going to be going not back to basement. They're going to be going basement for the first time. Top floor didn't quite work out for them, so they're going to try to shake it up and go basement. This time 6ing off the Vigil, bringing the Malusi.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely a good pick. Malusi, I feel like, is going to be an operator we see a ton this season.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna have everything about Malusi completely memorized by the end of the very least this season. We do see Banshee number 1 already being placed down towards the base of the yellow stairs, and that's a very nasty area to put it in because it covers. I'm not much of a Bansheeologist, so you have to bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, but I believe that would cover pretty much that last landing area of the yellow stairs and pretty much all of that little lip area up until the yellow stairs chassis. But whew, I mean, yikes, these are some well-placed areas. That's going to be the 4 corners right there already being covered as well by Banshee number 2, and that's going to be hell in a cell for the attackers to go forwards here if they're not able to melee it almost immediately.
Yeah, Banshees are quite tough, especially with the utility-based meta nowadays. Not like North Carolina doesn't have the means to deal with it. They do have Ash with their breaching rounds, Ace with his Summers if he does so choose to use them on him. Probably shouldn't, but he can, and as well as CDAPS with his Twitch drone can temporarily disable the Banshees if need be. But already an Electroclaw being taken off the board from CDAPS' Twitch drone. He still has 1 in his back pocket, but Beardmane on the wall is going to place his second Electroclaw on. Oh, a little bit of a miss flash coming out from Crim just being a little too quick on the throw there. As CDAPS can get his second Twitch drone in here and take this electrical out. This is the garage completely opened up for North Carolina, but that's a big risk. Beardmain is going to be watching that drone hole, waiting for a second Twitch drone, so CDAPS is instead going to go around. You can actually see Predator sitting on his drone there, droning in the Twitch drone. You love to see it, and boom, second Electro Claw down. He does lose his second Twitch drone, but now Taco has complete free reign of that garage, and yeah, boom, 1, 2, 3 Selmas going on there. And was that a smoke canister? No, they don't have a smoke. That must have been a nitro. Yeah, sideways nitro coming out from DLC. Kind of an interesting play. Kind of the play that Cincinnati needs right now, considering that garage wall is completely opened. And yeah, speaking of open, DLC's head is going to be opened up from Taco on that AK, just wreaking havoc. That's going to be most of, actually all of Cincinnati's roam game gone. You can see all 4 operators on site one way or another, but no, Dark Matter is going to rotate up just as I say that.
Like a Lucario, the more damage that UC Black takes, the stronger they ultimately become. And right now, it's going to be the challenge of the garage site, the first time we're seeing it, of whether or not they can stand true on their defense. Waiting around right now, it's going to be mostly holding angles again for the defending teams. We are seeing some intrusions coming out from the attackers. Predator, for example, on yellow stairs, able to get a really nice flick on the Presto. Maybe not so much a Lucario and D, but that's to be Crim following up. And Predator, of course, getting a little bit of action down on the Dark Matter as well. This is looking not so great for the defenders right now, as they're really stuck and relegated to small little rooms to take down so many different angles. Crim does find Dark Matter, and it's going to be 40 seconds left, plus 5 different people in a flawless round. However, he's not able to do it. He doesn't even come close. Drew takes down Eraser, and that's going to be a flawless win coming out for North Carolina State as they move forward in this second half. They are stacking up some pretty nice rounds on this second half compared to what they did before, now gaining themselves 2 rounds over UC Black.
My mouth is wide open after that round. Who, like, North... Okay. Time out. Back it up. No.
We'll put a Banshee in your mouth.
Bet. North Carolina coming back after these couple of rehosts here, looking like almost a completely different team. That take was kind of ridiculous. That looked like a very well flushed out take. Almost looks like North Carolina's been scrimming Consulate just a little bit. Just the Twitch drone kind of being droned in to take those electro claws off, and then opening that wall up completely, and then they started splitting up. I think Predator went down yellow stairs. I think Crim came and hit it from the back, and eventually they got Diffuser down. And I don't know if the Echo drones were already taken off the board by Predator, or if Echo was just a little slow getting on the drones to deny the Diffuser, but he was still alive. Unfortunately, Diffuser still went down. But yeah, not looking too good for Cincinnati on their defensive half so far. Gonna be going back up top. Gonna try it back out. See if they can do something a little bit different to try to win this out. I don't believe they brought a Malusi the last time they went top floor. I'm not sure about the Valkyrie either, but then again, I could just be wrong.
I believe this is at the very least the first time we've seen Valkyrie played in this game entirely. Something I want to take note of really quick is that we did see DLC kind of fumble around with the 6th pick for a bit. He did ultimately go as Capcan before the 6th pick, which, by the way, CEA is the only league where I have seen Capcan even in play since I think I started
He's
casting.
a great operator.
Oh yeah, I'm so sure. But with him being 6th pick out, being 6th pick out now, it's going to be DLC running the Bandit, which on the top floor is an interesting choice. You do have that A-side wall in the projector room that is somewhat viable. You could also put it on the bathroom walls as well. But I'm more curious to see where those batteries ultimately end up, or if it was just mostly for the gun. Taking a quick peek right now, I don't really see anywhere where the bandits might have been placed. His gadget is expelled, so it must be placed somewhere. It's going to be on projector wall, or 3 of the 4 of them. But overall, he's just going to be holding down inside admin. Already, LMAO Beardmain does take quite a bit of damage at the beginning of the round. I believe that was inside projector. But CDAP's holding a very strong angle, cutting through like cheese throughout the entirety of the top floor. This is already a nasty start for the beginning of the game. There we go. CDAP's does finish the job, takes down LMAO Beardmain.
I don't know why he was peeking that again. The rappel there out projector windows is such a hard spot to counter from the defense. But Beardmain just feeling a little bit overconfident there, decides to peek it, and he's going to be shut down for that. But of course, now North Carolina has the man advantage. That's not really something you can get away with, considering this match is so close. When a match is just as close as this one, those little mistakes are what cause rounds. But Cincinnati not completely out of it yet, but out of it just a little bit more as Krim finds the head of Eraser. That was actually through that break room wall, and CDAPS finds another onto Presto from that projector repel. DLC pushing this kind of aggressive into break room is going to be holding a tight angle here. I don't think North Carolina knows he's here. This could be a huge play for Bandit. Yeah, DLC finds 1, 2. That was 2. I don't see the second one in the kill feed, but that was definitely 2. And he knows that the ace is still there. So he's going to be looking for him. And hits the prone just in time and is shooting just over Ace's head. But he's going to be trying to move around. And unfortunately, he will be fragged out by Taco. Dark Matter finding the pick onto CDAPS, but Predator very close on the refrag there. It's going to land yet another round to North Carolina.
A beautiful and interesting round for both teams, to say the very least. NCSU do come down on top. That's going to put them at match point right now. Again, there's no overtime, so all they need is one more round. Or if you are UC Black, you have a mountain to climb and need 3 more to bring it to map 2 with a draw. But overall, that was an interesting round, especially towards the very end, where we just saw most of NCSU kind of cluttered together on the entrance to break room, and we didn't see any of them enter or be aggressive from there, and they got punished for it accordingly. Only one came out on top at the very end, and that did help lead the way to the ultimate victory. But even then, not really sure what was going on through the comms or anything like that had 3 different operators just cluttered so close together in admin.
I mean, yeah, they're going to be trying to hold that top floor once again. Cincinnati has their votes on console meeting, switching up, taking a mute this time instead of, I believe, a Legion they had brought last round. North Carolina keeping the same loadout, again, being very confident in it. It's been working for them. Almost lost the round there just with a misdrone from DLC. A beautiful play pushing up into that break room. But yeah, Cincinnati, I don't know. They're going to try to hold this top floor once again. It's looking like they're going to put more of their utility on this admin side of the map. Try to hold that just a little bit longer, or at least try to. Definitely the right play here is North Carolina's kind of just been pushing through admin like hot knife through butter. No real resistance.
Yeah, not much resistance indeed. NCSU has really stepped up their game for the most part in this second half. In fact, they've gone flawlessly in this second half. But their defensive side certainly was a struggle, but they have already encapsulated all of what Cincinnati had done on their attacking side. And, depending on how this round goes, and then some. But here we are going on to the top floor once again. Projector room going to be only partially reinforced. It seems that leftmost wall going to be barren once more. And the other reinforcement could be on the other side of the wall with a bandit trap seemingly on a soft wall, but that is not the case. We are seeing a bit of an admin attack again. It seems CDAPS, I believe, going to be on the western window this time instead of through A. CDAPS already, though, finding Eraser Rain again. 2 rounds in a row now. He's going to celebrate a little bit with that little bit of a flashy, just kind of spaz out right there. But your Valkyrie already being lost in the beginning, definitely not the play you want to see. But as we keep going, though, the defenders need to be able to really reconsolidate themselves.
I mean, the Valkyrie being gone, yes, that's a person off a gun, but now Eraser can sit on those cameras and just constantly give intel to his teammates. So not completely out of the round just yet. He's going to be trying to give his teammates at least any intel he can get. DLC trying to take a fight from admin. I believe that's with Drew, but he's going to be lit down to about half HP. And that's not something you'd like to see. DLC is still playing this quite aggressive, even though he's at quite the disadvantage for health. But he knows the CDAPS is still repelled. He's going to tear down that barricade, but unfortunately isn't going to see anyone. And CDAPS is just going to get back up on the rooftop, back to where he's completely safe. Beardmain still holding down admin as it's finally Krim who repels in and starts to try to push this, but up on the desk, is not going to quite find Beard, and Beard isn't going to quite find Krim. I thought Ash was completely dead there, but some of the bullets damage soaked up by that cubicle there. It's going to leave still the man advantage towards North Carolina here. 55 seconds, though. They are being held quite well inside of admin, but now there's 3 of them inside. They're going to be starting to push up here. They do have a couple banshees that they're going to have to push through, and yeah, Beardman was there to act on them, but not anymore, as Taco finds him. And on the other side of the map, that's going to be Predator taken down as well. 3v4 coming down to the last 30 seconds here. Crim almost being killed, but not quite yet. Crim still holding in by a thread, and DLC playing below. Doesn't have a nitro, but Presto and Dark Matter both have nitros in their back pocket. They could use these to deny. Taco's going to be going for plant and hitting the prone, the drop shot. Dark Matter's going to find CDAPS, and the nitro comes out, and it's not going to find the kill or stop the diffuser. Just barely missing that. It's not looking very good. 3v3. Cincinnati's going to have to try to retake the site here. Whoever's on that bomb is being wub-dubbed by that Banshee, and they cannot hear much. The shot's coming down. Dark Matter will be down, and so will Presto, and it's not on just a DLC who's caught running up Visa stairs. And North Carolina does actually win that round and the first map.
Beautiful work coming out from NCSU. I had a very slow start, a very scary looking start, especially if you're a fan of NCSU, but they brought it back. They really consolidated themselves. I can't say on their behalf whether or not it was because of the multiple rehosts we did have, but especially going into the second half on their attacking side, it seems like they had a much more solid and more well thought out procedure about how they wanted to take over the site. Especially that last round there, we just saw a huge execution. It was like a gigantic checklist almost of exactly what they wanted to do beat for beat, and they had done it multiple times in a row. But overall, North Carolina State University did an excellent job bringing it back, especially in the second half of the first game, and we can only hope that they're able to recreate that magic on Clubhouse, the next map. Now, of course, before we start talking about Clubhouse and go to our break, I think we have a little bit of some people to talk about, Blue.
You know, I think we do too. Those special people in our lives to make this possible. I know quarantine's been kind of rough for me. I'm kind of excited that the CEA season's starting back up. Now I have something to do. And the only reason this is possible, is because of our sponsors. We have What's New. They're doing the CEA clothing line, have some really nice stuff. Their sweatpants are really comfortable. Rogue Energy for, if you need that little boost. I know classes are kind of picking up for me. I always take a nice little hit of Rogue Energy. Use code CEA Siege at checkout for 10% off. And then, of course, Corsair for supplying some really, really nice peripherals, as well as some prize money for the prize pool. But of course, without further ado, we're going to be going into a quick 5-minute break. Don't go anywhere. We have map 2 between these two teams, which is going to be Clubhouse. I'm a huge fan of Clubhouse, so don't go anywhere.
A world of ordinary. Listen closely to what's left. The void. A place where sound is never just noise. It's a competitive edge. A weapon in your arsenal. It's something you can never touch, but you can always feel. And this isn't like anything you've ever felt before.
Welcome back, everybody, to CEA, the Open Playoffs, game number 2 between NCSU and UC Black. It is an interesting matchup between the two teams so far. We have seen NCSU have a very rough start on Consulate, but they ended up bringing it back. Not only just bringing it back, they brought it back to a flawless second half in which they brought themselves to that 7-3 overall, coming here now to Clubhouse. My name is Kang, and with me today is the wonderful and beautiful Blue Card. How are you, Blue?
Oh, how do you know I'm beautiful?
Oh, I always know you're beautiful.
That's crazy. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Damn, Kang, you need to watch yourself, bro.
Nah, dude.
Yo, it's cuffing season. Watch it.
But the only thing we're cuffing here today are dubs. NCSU and UC Black are going to be going up against each other for the 2 out of 2 maps between them today. Of course, there may be other maps in the future, but it's going to be down to the operator bands to see what they're going to bring down. Interestingly, last time we did see the target band of Maestro on the defensive side go down, but it looks like never mind. Looks like CDAPS is just being stupid. But there we go. It's going to be the first operator band to go down. And last time we did see Jackal and Thatcher. Blue, do you think we're going to recreate that same magic or see something different?
I would be very surprised if we didn't see a Thatcher ban. Like I would put money on it. An ace ban coming out from Cincinnati might make me eat my words here. But North Carolina was the team that banned Thatcher last time around, so they could very well ban him this time, considering they have the second ban. Oh, I don't have ace in my op bans. Oh no, I have to update my sheet. And yes, of course, there's the Thatcher coming out from North Carolina. I would say I was surprised, but yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, no real surprise there. We did see Thatcher banned last time on Consulate. The ace, however, being expected on the Consulate map as well, not being seen. In fact, he was played almost every round. It's going to be him saying goodbye to us this time around. Kaid's going to be falling down next, but this leaves a very important question. It's like we're going back to Steel Wave again, where we have Hibana, Thermite, and Maverick still in play. But not only that, we also have the secondary hard breach on operators like Capitao and Monty, who were commonly played on Clubhouse, to really show off what they can do here and put a monkey wrench into many sites on Clubhouse. But again, it's all going to come down to this last operator as well. Last time we had seen Maestro go down. This time we might see the Echo that won NCSU plenty of rounds, but no. Oh yes, I was right, it was Echo. Oh man, I wish that translated to the lottery.
Can you tell me my future, Keg?
Why, yes. Put out your palm.
All right, here you go.
Is it out?
Yes.
I sense many good things. I sense that you love my casting, so you know I'm a great fortune teller. But I sense that you will win. I sense that you will win SI 2021.
Oh, that's great. That's crazy. I'm not making it there. Kind of interesting. Good thing to note is from Cincinnati here we do see a different player. LMAO Beard main is no longer playing. We instead have Frosty Nips with 2 P's instead. I want to say Frosty Nips is probably on their main roster, considering he has the tag and LMAO Beard main did not. But that could lead to a very different outcome than what we saw last map. I know team chemistry is absolutely massive in this game, and having one person different can throw off an entire attack. So maybe this is what Cincinnati needs to bring this back. But Consulate was Cincinnati's map, and they lost it. So North Carolina picking Clubhouse, you'd expect them to be playing even better on Clubhouse. So Cincinnati will really have to step it up if they want to try to take this from North Carolina, which I wouldn't be surprised if Cincinnati started bringing it back right off the bat. And Consulate, they came out with 2 round wins right off the bat. Plus, it's Clubhouse. Clubhouse is quite heavily defender-sided, and Cincinnati is on the defense first.
Yeah, in CEA so far this season, we've been seeing some very tumultuous defense rounds on server side or CCTV. It hasn't really been working out for a lot of teams. Definitely the new operator selections, definitely the new sites, a whole bunch of different amalgamations being put in a gigantic pot with someone with a big wooden spoon stirring around, giving all the different reasons why Clubhouse has been faltering a little bit in this new season. And we're about to possibly see why once again. We do see one inside stripper. That's going to be DLC looking for potentially a run out. I think he does hear the repels going near Jacuzzi, giving the alert now that Jacuzzi might be the play, at least for 3 of the attackers going through. And already, we might be seeing a very nasty split push, and depending on what DLC does, this could be shut down relatively swiftly, depending on what happens next within the next minute or so.
Yeah, DLC instead is not going to quite go for the run out. It's going to back off, try to play this a little bit more on the safe side. Construction hatch being opened up, that must have been from the attack. I don't think, I mean, unless Maestro opened it up, he does have that bailiff on his side. He could have very well opened it up. Yeah, the attack hasn't even pushed up that far yet, but in saying so, Crim on Zofia is going to be pushing up through Master. Just going to have to fight Dark Matter, who's holding in construction. Quite the tight angle there. Most likely have some cross and support from his teammates on the objective, but Crim has the LMG. That's kind of interesting. You don't usually see a Zofia with the LMG. Just kind of a weird note. Kind of threw me off for a second.
An interesting choice, but a welcome one. It's going to be Dark Matter holding a tight angle inside construction. First concussion grenade does go down. Going to give alert to the Jaeger that someone is nearby. Zaping, of course, going to be out as well. 2 holding down right inside of construction. They're going to be pushing momentarily, but it's going to be up to this 416 to see whether that and the C4 can really compound together. The C4 does misses. The concussion does come down, but it looks like no play coming off of it right away. It's going to be the Zofia still hiding away, but they spot the Jaeger first. That's Crim going down. Taco follows up and finding DLC. Already, things are not looking good for UC Black on their defense in the first round. The Malusi, who was the chosen one, in fact, going to be the one flanking, going to be shut down along with the Evil Eyes, able to find some of these Excarios pellets. Of course, they followed up and managed to take down Sledge as well. I'm not sure if that was luck or just a call out there, but going down to the final 30 seconds, Blue, it's not looking good for UC Black.
No, they're just North Carolina though, kind of getting sloppy. They just run in, but yeah, Frosty Nips is gonna find CDAPS, but Drew is there for the refrag, and Predator pushing in through Cash Door. It's gonna find Maestro as well. Cincinnati almost got away with that at the end. North Carolina started playing really sloppy and just running in, but they still had it covered. North Carolina is gonna win their first round out from Cash Server. This round now looks like they're going to be going down Basement Arsenal, the typical site rotation you'd expect to see from Clubhouse. But now it comes down to whether or not, since Cincinnati wants to just completely turtle in sight, roll 5 people in sight, or have some sort of roaming presence. Seeing the mute and the vigil combination here kind of suggests that they might try a little bit of a roam game. But it really depends on how strong of a roam game Cincinnati wants to play here. North Carolina, though, bringing out plenty of hard breach. Considering they only brought Ace on Consulate, Clubhouse, you do tend to need a bit more hard breach ability, but they are bringing absolutely all of it. The Maverick, the Habana, the Thermite. There's not going to be a single hard wall that they can't get through if they want to. Unless, of course, Frosty Nips places a pesky mute jammer on the other side, but that's more of the in-round complications. I'm more interested to see what sort of roam game, if any, Cincinnati is going to have set up.
I'm curious to see what kind of roam game we're expected to see as well. When it comes to Church, I mean, there's a whole plethora of different things you can do. Of course, there's always the famous, or I guess now infamous SSG roam that a lot of Tier 3 teams like to employ, or even above Tier 3 as well. But it's going to be down to this Vigil mostly to be a stranglehold of how the rest of the match is going to be conducted. If he can hold himself steady, or even find some ways to roam himself around depending on where he goes, this could be an absolute game changer at what DLC wants to do. But right away, already shots finding him. He takes quite a bit of damage. No Doc on the board, so he's going to have to live with those bullets inside of his body for, at the very least, the rest of this game. Meanwhile, the rest of NCSU are going to be roam cleaning from above, no doubt, looking for that Vigil, which you can't blame them. The drones are in play. Vigil does have his gadget active. He's going to be invisible, but not invisible enough to not be spotted. He is, in fact, after all, spotted on the rafters, in which he seemingly goes down right after. Prim finding DLC. That's going to be your Vigil gone, and I don't know if that's Caster's Curse or what, Blue, but you've already lost down your one and only roamer.
Yeah, it's not a good look right off the bat. The DLC is gone already. North Carolina really putting the hurt onto Cincinnati here. Crim utilizing that LMG very well. kind of was surprised that he was running it, but I can tell why he likes it so much. 2 opening picks back to back, and it's going to be down to CDAPS to open up Kitchen Hatch. Kind of a weird opening here, probably placing it there to counter the impact trick, but unfortunately the impact coming out from directly centered under the counter there, it's going to be completely taken off. But like mentioned earlier, North Carolina does have a plethora of hard breach utility at their disposal if need be. We hear Habana opening up Bar Hatch right now with her Kairos pouch, and she's probably going to be rotating around towards Kitchen to try to help Thermite get this Kitchen Hatch open. Presto, though, is going to be taking CDAPS off the board with a peek. CDAPS was looking through those vertical floor holes, trying to find the head of Maestro, but Maestro found Thermite's head instead. Habana placing her last set of Kairos down on the hatch is not going to get impact trick, and Kitchen Hatch will finally be open. I don't know if the impact missed or they were just too far away from the hole, but Predator just pushing down main stairs will find Frosty Nip's head. That's the mute gone off the board. Predator really just kind of walking through the map right now, clicking heads as he does. And it looks like North Carolina is going to be trying to get this church wall open, which is going to be kind of tough without any Kairos or exothermic charges. But Maverick still does have all 5 blowtorch canisters at his disposal, as well as 2 nades. And pushing in from dirt, Krim is going to find Dark Matter, pushing him off the board, leaving it to a 2v4 as Taco finds Eraser. And it's not just a Presto. LMG versus LMG in the back of Arsenal. It's going to be the Aldo that wins this one out. Sledge opening the wall. Presto finds the head of Predator, though, to a 1v2. And he's running low on ammo. I think he's got the bailiff there. He really needs to get this reload off as quick as he can. But no, Drew pushing in. Finds Presto. So unfortunate. Almost a beautiful clutch coming out from Presto. If only he had just a few more bullets in the magazine of the Alda, or I guess the belt of the Alda. But very close round there. But it's going to be North Carolina that ends up winning the second round out as well on attack.
2 rounds flawlessly for North Carolina State right now. They may have hurricanes down in North Carolina, but they're acting like a hurricane in this game. Right now, it has been 2 rounds in a row of really not being contested a whole lot. It came down to that Alda, the Maestro, Predator being the last one alive, and he wasn't really able to do a whole lot. He did get the double kill in a 1v4, but unfortunately, the other 2 were there to pinch him at the very end. Going back to CCTV, however, this is again another shot at redemption, possibly for UC Black, to really bring things back this time around. And something interesting to know is not something we see too often on servers either, is the inclusion of a Mira.
Kind of an interesting operator to see. Cash being a very strong site to play her. Just placing those Miras in Cash, looking through that server wall. You can either leave the wall soft, place the Mira crouch so you can open up above it, chuck nitros, smokes, whatever you so please over that, or it looks like they're going to be playing it reinforced, which I would agree with. It's a bit more safer. You can still open up some holes in the wall directly next to you so you can throw stuff over. But that's one mirror, black mirror, that she's placing down. Now where's the other one going? My guess would probably be top main on that central wall there, looking at construction. And it's some pretty solid mirror setups. It's quite hard to counter here, because the Mira in Cash is covered by the Mira on top Cash stairs, and pushing up Cash stairs is never fun. Also on the board for Cincinnati, a Womai, which I don't think we've seen played at all yet. So Womai in combination with the Jaeger, all projectiles are not going to be safe flying through the air. They will most likely be snagged up. But it just comes down to whether or not North Carolina can see these out and get around it. They do have flashes on Habana as well as Thermite, so they have some utility at their disposal to sort of drain these ADSs and magnets out. But they have to get through Bandit, who is Bandit tricking the wall. Thankfully, the Mav on their team opens up a wall. Doesn't matter. Bandit, no Bandit, mute, doesn't matter. Brilliant look for that Nitro. They're going to deny that Bandit's Nitro right off the bat. Flash is coming through the wall here, completely draining any ADS or magnets, which they didn't have any to follow up with a nade. Exothermic charge goes on the wall, starts to get detonated, but Bandit, very quick on that trick, is going to take it off. So now Thermite's down just to 1 exothermic charge. Habana still with all 3 Kairos, has some hard breach utility at her disposal, but the second exothermic charge goes on the wall and is instantly removed by Presto. Some beautiful Bandit tricking coming out here. Props to Presto.
Absolutely. Two C4s did go through the small little hole that the Maverick made, both of them getting destroyed before they could ever see the light, or I suppose the life of day, of trying to take anybody out. But no, that's not going to be today. Right now, it's a bit of a slower match, all things considered. There has been a lot of headway made by NCSU, but really, in the grand scheme of things, they're kind of where they started, and there's only a minute and a half left. Of course, though, this is sort of the 20-second meta right now, so it all takes just the prep time to make sure everyone has their ducks in a row before making that final onslaught. But right now, Raptors has been completely uncontested for the entire round. The Mirror playing right in front of this wall. They are just completely waiting for the barrage of bullets once that softball opens up. Sledgehammer going to be completing the coup de grace. And right now, with a minute left now, 30 seconds has completely expelled, completely just a wall. The mirror window has not been contested either. It's really just a battle of who's going to be placed where, and Eraserhead does find that opening pick on the Crim. 45 seconds left now, however, and the mirror still playing around uncontested and probably the unsafest area of the entire top floor. In fact, right now, NCSU hasn't really made much headway of getting inside at all. Eraser Rain does find Taco as well, and possibly soon to be Predator, who is coming very close to that same exact sight line. CNAPS does find Frosty Nips, and Predator follows up, but bringing it now to only an even 3v3 with 20 seconds left. That diffuser's nowhere to be seen, anywhere close to the site. Now down to a 2v2, 15 seconds left. Now the Mira and the Alda, the Maestro, the last ones alive, really need to hold down their headgears as much as they can because the Iron Shields can only do so much. Planting is going down, the Mira waiting for her time to shine, but no! She shuts down Drew instead and follows up with a shotgun of her own. So the skull of CDAPS finding that double kill that she waited for so long, the entirety of the round, playing so patiently to get that single shot.
I thought that may have been bad. Mira already using her nitro earlier on in the round would have to push that and contest that angle to kill whoever was defusing. But DLC just walked through it like it was nothing. Just found the head of the Mav on garage balcony. And then, of course, giving CDAMS a nice little pump from the secondary Ito shotgun. Beautiful round from Cincinnati. Finally getting a round on the board for this map. Getting some sort of momentum going. And interestingly enough, they're not going to be trying basement again. They're going to be going right to gym bedroom, showing the mute like they took for basement to try to throw North Carolina off, and instead 6ing onto the castle, pretty much a staple operator of this site. You really need those castle barricades to at least shut some sort of sight lines down, whether that be construction window, gym door, or anywhere else you want to put that castle barricade, maybe even cash door if you wanted to hold all the way over there. He's almost a necessity for this site if you want to have any sort of success. So right away, both castle barricades going on weight room window and weight room door. And I'm assuming he's going to be putting a rotate in that wall in front of him, because if not, he is completely barricaded in that room. But weight room and master bedroom getting a nice little remodel just in case, you want to wake up in the morning and hit the weights right away. You can do that, roll out of bed, take a few steps over, and there you are. But Bandit going to be trying to trick Jacuzzi Wall, I'm assuming. Has all 4 batteries still in his pocket, still putting some reinforcements up. Not much in the line of defenses on the cash side here. Rotate going in between construction and cash would suggest that the defense is going to be playing it a little bit, as they have a castle barricade on cash door, but they don't have any reinforcements to help them out on cash side. That's not really a good look. They do have that plant wall reinforced, so they will slow the attack down a little bit, but once attack gets into server or top cache stairs, the defenders inside of cache are really not going to have a good time.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary area to be in right now for cash room. No reinforcements is a weird sign to see. I'm not really sure where the rest of those reinforcements went in all consideration. Sledge does open logistics wall hatch right away. And so the main question is, Blue, where are the rest of those reinforcements?
I don't think
they're
sure.
out. I don't think they've been used.
I saw a couple going, in between construction and log detail. They reinforced between mass. That's 2, 4, 6. 1 in bathroom is 7.
Oh, what? Okay.
That's only 7 still, though.
I've never seen this
7,
before. That's
8,
a really
from wall. Yeah.
That's an interesting strategy. I'm curious to see how this is gonna go down.
Bandit, they might be holding 1 to reinforce bathroom rotate too. That might be what they're doing.
I believe so. It's interesting to see that go down. I'm curious to see why they chose to do that. C4 does go down onto the Maverick. Maverick doesn't take any damage, however, and continues to go onto the logistics wall. There are some gunshots, I believe, or maybe the bandit charges attempting to hit him down a little bit. Reinforcement number 10 be going down on the garage, realizing that they are losing Jacuzzi. But again, what is going on this other side of the map? It is just complete chaos here. No reinforcements in the seemingly right areas, but instead could be having reinforcements onto logistics wall. Eastern Stairs could be finding a body. Eraserhead does find Crim, but hello? What is going on this side of the map? It's gonna be Predator who finds DLC. And this is just a chaos zone over here. It's like a black hole of disaster.
I knew as soon as I saw no reinforcements on Cash, I knew it wasn't going to be good. But Drew dropped Technology Hatch, maybe pushing through construction, is going to find 1 and 2 as Cashel walks into him as he switches weapons. But the push here coming down, it's not down just to Eraser in a 1v3, and he's outside of sight. He has to push back into sight against 3 attackers, and yeah, Predator is there watching it. He's going to sit Eraser down. North Carolina winning out their 3rd round. Winning Master Bedroom, you'd kind of expect it. I'd be surprised if North Carolina didn't win that site, if Cincinnati didn't bring, some crazy, super crazy strats. But Jaeger coming up those Cash stairs, almost bringing Cincinnati back into the fight earlier on, getting that nice opening pick. I believe that was Eraser, actually. Almost was able to relieve some sort of pressure from that construction side. But unfortunately, he had to back off, and the attack just pretty much walked through the defense at the end.
Definitely a very weird round, to say the very least. I'm curious to see, maybe in the interviews, if we can understand why, from either team's perspective, they on UC Black wanted to reinforce not servers, but logistics. I can understand to an extent where they're coming from. You do give up control of server, you do give control of cash dash, you do give up control of construction, but you do have logistics completely under your thumb, and it allows to not have any rotates, I suppose, from logistics to construction for the attackers. Sure, I get that. But I'm really not sure why, especially with the split push in play going to Jacuzzi. I'm really not sure what was going through their heads. I'm sure there's a viable strategy that I just can't think of. But Blue, I don't know about you, man, but that was a very questionable act for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'm still just trying to get my head around this Cav pick coming out from DLC. Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Okay. Oh.
DLC's just okay. I haven't thought about this, but the new reinforcement pool is actually really good for 6-pick operators like this that you want to hide. Because right off the bat, you can just go run and go hide and strip, let's say, and you don't have to worry about having to get your reinforcements down because your team can take care of it for you. Oh, no.
Yes.
DLC.
No. Hold on. So you're completely right. Don't get me wrong. But my question is, why Cav and not Vigil?
I'm not gonna lie, Keg. My headset just disconnected for a quick
second.
No. Okay, we good. Go ahead.
So my main question was, yeah, the reinforcement pool and everything, you're completely right, but why bring Caveira and not Vigil? Melusi already taking so much damage, but why not bring the Vigil?
I don't know. I think Caviar, just with a silent step, I mean, there's no Jackal. She can just get around quieter. I'm not sure. I think North Carolina is just so efficient with the drones, but that's even more reason to bring Vigil. I'm not sure. Maybe DLC just likes the pistol shotgun combination, but doesn't matter here. Is North Carolina doesn't even clear the roam. Oh no, Taco just walks in from dirt. He catches Maestro on cams, and Melusi looking the complete wrong way. But DLC with the interrogation, no way! He gets it off, and this might be the saving grace they need. Eraser on site now knows exactly where all the attackers are, but he has to do something to act on this information. You have wall hacks, you have to swing it, and now the wall hacks are completely gone. It's not just a DLC. Who's gonna rotate outside through dirt, and yeah, gonna be completely spotted right ahead of Taco, and now just has to go through. Yeah, CDAP's prone on the ground is not gonna be seen. And a really good read from North Carolina there, taking that push very aggressively, just taking blue right off the bat as well as dirt, and just obliterating the defense. Almost saved by DLC and the interrogation there, but unfortunately just not quite enough.
So just when I thought the previous round was straight up crazy, this is just even crazier. Was it really worth bringing the Caveira out for that though? Yeah, you did get the
Yes, you got
interrogation.
an interrogation. That's
Yes.
worth.
I'm gonna disagree. I don't think it was worth it. I think having the vigil and not getting the interrogation, because your Caveira, you get the interrogation and you get 1 kill off of that. By then, your entire team is already dead. If anything, I would, the cynical part of me wants to say the entire team was sacrificed for that single play. Yeah, it was flashy, it was cool, but you costed yourself a round and you already had such a huge deficit.
Yes, Keg, but interrogation.
Yes, you're completely
No,
right. But
I'd have to disagree with you there because, yeah, she kind of left her teammates on site all alone, but that's what Vigil would be doing too. That interrogation was just a little too late. If that came just a little bit earlier, and it came while the attack was happening on site, while they started to initially push in, that round would have went a completely different way. It was unfortunate that it was a little on the slow side, and unfortunately Eraser really didn't do much with that interrogation, but that completely could have turned that round around. And yeah, it doesn't happen very often. I would rather have a Vigil over a Cam, but that was almost really good.
okay, I can agree with that. Let's shake hands on it. Shake.
Shake. Yeah.
Yep, there we go. I like that analysis. You're a good analyst. I like that.
Thanks, man. I like your voice.
Aw.
I think I'm gonna listen to stream going to bed tonight because it's so soothing.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I don't stream too much anymore, but hopefully once I graduate, I do. But you know who is streaming right now? CEA, and they are having one hell of a match go on right now.
Wait, they are?
Apparently, yes. I just found out. But here we go. Last time we did see DLC on the mirror get the double kill at the very end of the round. It's gonna be Maverick again, going through, open up these holes. It's almost like retelling the same story again. C4 number 1 goes through, misses. Frag grenade number 1 goes through, misses, but does get both bandit charges. There is a Banshee in the way this time around, but bandit battery number 2 does go down as well. It's gonna be another flash to go down. Unfortunately, that is going to be the incorrect placement of the exothermic, and no, a team kill with a frag grenade. This is just a comedy of errors coming out from both sides this game. Oh man.
So I give the opening pick to North Carolina.
Yeah.
What? I don't know who to put there. I'll wait till an actual pick goes down. Yeah, quite the blunder coming out from Drew, just barely missing that hole. Was gonna take C-Naps off the board, and that's the exothermic charge is gone too. Fortunately for the attack here, Maverick gets the wall opened just to be soft. Taco finds a head through it, and Predator pushing through construction pretty much solo here is gonna find a Racer. But yeah, that wall is now soft. Sludge is going to open that up and give all the sight lines Drew could ever ask for. Now, Presto Dragon on the bend is still going to be holding Garage Balcony. And now Frosty Nips rotating back up. Cash Stairs is going to have a nice cross. But Predator still solo pushing through construction is going to find Dark Matter as well. It's not out just to smoke in Bandit. But Frosty Nips taking a little bit of an aggressive peek is going to drop the Mav as well as Diffuser out on Plat Balcony there. Bringing it kind of closer, not quite even just yet. North Carolina has the man advantage, but with 40 seconds left, Cincinnati knows where the Diffuser is, but Presto gets dropped as Taco just walks in through Garage. Frosty Nip's going to be rotating down, going to try to come up behind Taco here. Is not quite going to pay off as Taco just turns and frags Frosty out as well. North Carolina looking kind of scary right now.
A very poor opening for North Carolina State does turn into their benefit by pretty much winning flawlessly after that -1. But overall, kind of a yikes situation. Drew does team kill C-Dabs, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Keep in mind that servers was the one site that we had seen UC Black win on the first half. It was their only defensive round, especially with the mirror getting that double kill at the very end in the near post-plant situation. They did end up denying it. Having NCSU come back at the very end there was really beneficial, and that had to have been such a huge morale boost for them as well. We will be going to the second round now, and we do see Zero. It looks like he will be 6th pick out into the Jackal pick, which fair enough. But yeah, I mean, seeing Zero kind of threw me in for a shock for a minute. I kind of forgot we were inside the Splinter Cell season.
I know it kind of came out of nowhere, but yeah, for all of you that don't know, Zero is in his quarantine period. He will be being played as soon as the next season drops, which unfortunately it's going to be a little bit because we just had this season drop. But anyways, DLC 6ing off the Zero onto the Jackal instead. We haven't seen a Jackal yet, right? I'm pretty sure I've been keeping an eye out for him.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, so kind of an interesting pick. Maybe not really the site for it, considering the roam game here isn't all that important. But perhaps Cincinnati's going for a below clear to try to get any batteries off the wall, utilizing that IQ scanning. Jackal being able to clear it out before her could prove beneficial for Cincinnati here. But North Carolina went 5-1 on their attacking half. And I mentioned earlier that Clubhouse is quite the defender-sided map, so really not looking too great for Cincinnati here. This could be a rare example where Clubhouse just tends to be attack, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. A lot of these rounds have come down quite close to the wire, so Cincinnati just kind of needs to start to band together, start pushing together just a little bit more, which we see Jackal and Hibana doing. Hopping on drones, droning each other out, as Jackal's just going to be walking through bar here, looking for any roamers. And there's only going to be the one. Predator playing that blue stairs. Drone's going to be spotted out. He will see the Jackal, but unfortunately the shots won't connect, and DLC is going to sit Predator right down very early on into the round. This could be Cincinnati's round.
Funny enough, it's like there's CEA syndrome going on right now. We had the matches yesterday where no one was able to win a defensive round between two other collegiate teams, but it looks like right now looking like it's a different story. Eraser Rain does find Taco, and it's just bodies going back and forth right now. Predator and Taco already saying goodbye. It's going to be a huge vertical play game going on right now inside of servers. The Malusi on the eastern stairs, holding down as long as he can. Little Mr. Smiley Face there on the wall as well. If we could just say hi to him real quick. Oh, we love smiley faces. But the Jackal by himself right now on the western side of the map. All is quiet, seems, right now on the western front. He's looking to make those angles on the construction side. No bodies apparently found. And it's going to be the remaining 3 defenders who are holding out inside of server, holding the angles again like usual. There's not really much else they can do. Drew does find Eraser Rain, who's been wreaking havoc on this last round, especially in the first half, doing such a good job as an attacker. He's going to be having to say goodnight, however, though. The exothermic does go down right on top of Mr. Smiley Face. Unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to that Smiley Face for a little bit longer. The smoke grenades are going down, sub 1 minute left. We might be entering that 20-second meta once more as a 3v3 enthralls itself. Of course, though, Blue, as I try to hand off to you, it does go into a 2v3v1 where Drew goes and takes down Frosty Nips. But it ends there, unfortunately. A little anticlimactic as well. Drew does end up finding that double kill after all and wins the round for NCSU once again, bringing them to match point.
Keg, this is match point already?
Apparently, yeah. I mean, looks like time just flew by. Play it again, Sam, as time goes by.
There's no map 3. That's crazy. North Carolina looking almost like a completely different team compared to what they did on Consulate. You can definitely tell that Clubhouse is North Carolina's map here. I mean, firstly, or mainly just by looking at the scoreline, but also how they're pushing this, how they're attacking it, and now how they're defending it as well. Being very, I don't want to say aggressive, but getting those trades as Cincinnati was pushing below cash, playing a bit aggressive on Garage Balcony, was able to trade off. He got picked. I forget who it was, but someone peeked down cash stairs to try to get a pick. Unfortunately, didn't get it. But just some nice trade-offs going back and forth here. North Carolina playing a little aggressive to try to even the odds, but not playing overly aggressive. If that makes any lick of sense. But now North Carolina is a single round away from taking this second map and from taking the game. Completely taking the game, yeah. So if they win this map, they win this round. That's a total of 3 points they'll get. At this point, Cincinnati is going to be trying to win, or at least tie this map now. A partial loss, unfortunately, is still 0 points, but they will be denying North Carolina a single point if they do bring this back. And personally, I would love to see a complete flip here. I would love to see Cincinnati bring this back. But it's kind of tough on Clubhouse, especially when you're attacking. But kind of interesting. Dark Matter on the Capitão, bringing that secondary hard breach. I think this is the first time I've seen it in game. or at least in
Yes.
a competitive collegiate game.
I think Dark Matter's the only one who's been bringing in secondary hard breaches out of anybody in this series so far. But going back to what you said before, it's 6-1 right now. UC Black would have to perform a Herculean effort to bring this series back. It's unlikely, to be completely truthful, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. We do see a split push coming down on the second floor. Ooh, excuse me, I have hiccups. Yeah, there we go. So we do see the split push going down right now between the two different attacking quadrants, if you will. The Sledge is by himself, and we do see a little bit of action stockroom as well. The bar is heating up quite a bit. The Sledge does meet up with the rest of the gang in billiards. The Hibana Excarios pellets do open up in Moto as well, and from there, things will get heated up a little bit more. Really, I think this goes down to the brunt on Taco, who is playing the roam clear game right now, but on the wrong floor. He does have some vertical play to enact himself on, but having brought out those shots, they're going to spot him out, or at least hear, if the sound's not reversed, where he's at. But it's going to be up to them whether or not they can take down this Jaeger.
Yeah, Drone and Dark Matter go up the stairs to try to find where Taco is playing. He will be spotted out on a drone on the cached side. And Dark Matter is going to be the one to try to push him out. He is solo, but fortunately there is no cam this time, so they don't have to worry about pushing solo. But Maestro taking a little bit of damage to the floor, and it's going to be Dark Matter who does finally find that Jaeger on the roam. Now Cincinnati doesn't have to worry about the roam, but they do have to worry about the hatch they just opened up. And Crim's going to punish Eraser from peeking his head through it. But Dirt's going to be opened up here. It's a 4v4. Crim taking quite a bit of damage, but will down DLC through that same very hatch. Unfortunately, DLC will be able to crawl into Freezer and get picked back up here. Keeping it an even 4v4. Health advantage in terms of North Carolina, though. They have to hold out for another 50 seconds. Ping going down on Church Wall. Dark Matter probably asking for Presto on the Thermite to try to open that up. But if Dark Matter wanted to, he could use his secondary hard breach to do so. An impact going on the top over that wall, probably just to throw nades or anything over if need be. Sledge has already used both his frag grenades, so the only thing going over would be an impact. It looks like Cincinnati's kind of hitting a wall here. 20 seconds left. No room has really been made. Nitro goes up from the mute, but is not going to quite go over. Predator will find one, and CDAPS with another onto Presto and DLC. It's not onto Dark Matter. Just Dark Matter as Predator finds Frosty, and Drew with the shotgun and Moto sits Dark Matter down. And that's going to be map 2 for North Carolina.
Well, it doesn't take Nancy Drew to solve this mystery as to why NCSU won on Clubhouse. Overall, I think there was just a lot more coordination both on the attack and the defensive side of what they were trying to accomplish. When it came to UC Black side, we did see some very weird plays overall. You know, going back to, I believe, round number 4, we did see the logistics play with the walls, covering logistics completely, and then following that round, we did see Caveira make her debut, probably in the entire competitive season of all leagues in Siege.
First and last game.
First and last, yes, hopefully. You know, when it comes down to it, I think they were trying to do different things. I don't want to say they gave up. Maybe they were just trying to experiment a little bit more and see what sticks and what doesn't. But when it comes to, you know, actual on-stream plays, that might not be the place to do it. But I do respect the effort. I do respect the interrogation actually going down successfully, and the effort that Caveira put in afterwards about running out and trying to rotate through dirt. Unfortunately, well, no, she did get a kill, but it did get shut down after that. So it wasn't completely a failure, but, you know, going 7-1 on map number 2 is certainly something you don't want to see too often if you are Cincinnati Black. And I believe that is our interviewee. Hello.
He did call it.
It is
He did
CDAPS.
say it was his.
Well,
hello, everybody.
There was a moment for a while, though, CDAPS, where it seemed like it wasn't going to be you in the interviewing desk. Let's start with question number 1 with that. Those first 2 rounds on Consulate were just...
Well, I mean, the main thing is when we think about it, Consulate falls into the sides of the map that it's attacker-sided. Getting a 3-3 split is just sort of default, so we weren't discouraged at all. We just couldn't quite figure out there. We understood that their take for Garage, which is where we really struggled, we couldn't get any pressure on, like, stopping their pressure on the backside, and they were just kind of rolling over us. So we were just trying to not deal with that. We won our lobby, we won our two CEOs, and we were kind of fine with that. We know that our consulate attack strats are very strong. It's the one map that I don't have to play hard breach, which is why I love it so much. And then yeah, everything else just worked out. The team vibes were really good. Nobody got discouraged at all. Everybody was super positive, and we started having a lot of fun.
Beautiful. Thank you for a very PR-like answer. I'm glad to hear that. Now, speaking of the pressure in those first 2 rounds, we did see a very particular wall in bathrooms. I'm sure you remember it not be reinforced. UC Black took full advantage of that, and you were pretty much gunned down at the very beginning, and it wasn't looking good for that first round. What was the comms like for that softball being open?
So what happened was is I sat there. It was a perspective issue on my fault. So that's my reinforcement to do. When I was coming up yellow, it seemed like Pred was all the way in the corner reinforcing both. But then he wasn't. I sit down on my shield, I turn around and go, "Guys, I'm going to die." And that was about all the comms. I knew I was marked for death. There really wasn't anything I could do. I just tried to keep my presence there for as long as possible, make them scared, slow them down, because their room clear was very intensive, and that's something that we started realizing, especially for our CEO attacks, that if we put anybody anywhere, we get droned, then they sort of fall back just a little bit more. They're going to be worried about the possible flanks. They had the Nomad, which was good for them. That did help to alleviate a lot of the stress on any sort of those plays that people like Krim or Taco were going for. However, ultimately, it was just mainly the anchors downstairs. We were so close on so many of them that that Capital play from them was very, very strong, and that led to a lot of rounds on their attacks. But ultimately, as seen on Clubhouse, we did sort of account for the fact that they were going to be bringing the Capital and going for smoke plants, and we're able to just fall back. The Maestro wasn't banned. We could see through the smokes, and everything went a lot better.
Fantastic. Now, you do win Consulate overall. It's a very handed victory. You win flawlessly in the second half, but then we move our way over to Clubhouse. Now, Clubhouse, of course, wasn't really as much of a challenge as it was for you guys on Consulate, winning 7 to, I believe, 1. Now, here's my main question for you, CDAPS, is that you guys had to have started seeing some very interesting strategies go down about halfway through. For example, I believe it was you yourself, CDAPS, who was interrogated. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, actually, you're
No?
incorrect,
I am
Keg. That
incorrect.
was
Oh,
my
no.
main man, Andrew Ryan,
Andrew,
that
got
was
you.
interrogated. Yes, Drew.ncsu.
The
Well, that
question-
came out. Oh, you
Oh,
can
I
go ahead and
apologize.
ask the
The
formal
question-
question.
Yes, the question still does stand. Were you expecting a Caveira, and how did you guys react initially when you saw that interrogation go down?
So what happened is our initial drone work saw a mute, a Mozzie, and a Vigil. So we're like, okay, 1 + 1 = 2. Mute plus Mozzie plus Vigil equals SSG roam. And how do you counter an SSG roam? You go blue as fast as you can and hope that there's not people in there. We droned ahead Krim. He sort of has 151 bullets in an LMG that he recently fell in love with on the Zofia. Big shout out to Ton from UTSA for shoving that down our throat and really making us respect that weapon. And then after that, Andrew was just sort of trying to hold flanks because there wasn't much he could do as Maverick. He still had a good gun. We didn't necessarily need the nades or the breaching capability. So he was just making sure nobody came behind us blue stairs. Ultimately, he gets downed and just starts absolutely screaming. He's wailing. He's screaming, "Guys, I'm getting interrogated." I'm sitting here tapping on the diffuser, doing my 52 carats extra strong password. And then I'm just like, you know what? I'm sticking this. If I get shot through a wall or something, so be it. Noble sacrifice for the cause. But then it's just all worked out. Somebody else got a wall bang because they followed bullet tracers, and the Cav came down dirt, and that was just sort of GG on that round.
Well, it's certainly no surprise that NCSU do come out on top, winning both maps. My final question is, and it's similar in the similar vein as the Caveira, and maybe you can help me clarify this. One round we did see Gym and Bedroom go through on UC Black's defense. Typically, when it comes to the reinforcements, we see most of them go down on server side or maybe even CCTV. But no, UC Black instead chose to reinforce all of logistics and just overall some very bizarre reinforcement placements. I'm hoping maybe as an attacker, you can help me at the very least clarify why they did that instead of just, giving up on construction in servers.
So what I think they were trying to do was show initial face inside of CCTV and cache, then fall back to a more secure construction. However, we read into that properly. We got somebody on the construction window, cutting all rotates. And since logistics was fully free, we saw Taka go absolutely ham on the sledge and just kind of murder everybody that was within a 5-mile radius of him. But after we got that breach open, we had the pressure from the backside. We had necessary soft reach to get the angles opened inside of CCTV and Cash to force them back. And it was just sort of corralling some cattle right into a kill box.
Fair enough. Well, those were all my questions. CDAPS, thank you very much. Blue, did you have any questions for our winner tonight?
Not really. CDAPS, do you have anything you want to say to all of your followers in chat? I saw some NCSU spams, some Cincinnati spams. Anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, so first off, I'd like to thank our coach, Capital. He's a big guy. He's maybe only about 5'4", but his presence on our team is big. He's doing a lot of analysis work with us, helping us craft our game to the highest level. Big shout out to Grant, aka Anarchy. He's the heartbeat of our team. He keeps us motivated in trying to get better. Everybody on the roster, absolutely love every single one of you. Taco, Pred, Andrew, Krim, best guys to be around and always lift each other up to make ourselves our best players that we can possibly be. B team, C team, love all of them as well. They're always great support. They're our number one fans. They're always in chat. They're always everywhere, pushing us forward and making sure everything's better.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, CDAPS. Good job on the wins tonight. You and all of NCSU deserve a nice victory. But that will be it for CEA tonight. We had some very interesting games and definitely some interesting strategies and operator placements, but that is about all we have for this best of 2 for tonight. Blue Card, it was really nice casting with you tonight, man.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to some more.
Absolutely. Well, with that, thank you very much. I believe we can talk about our sponsors one more time. We do have Rogue Energy, CORSAIR, and of course, I believe, and I'm still a little new to CEA, so I have to read off a title card. And we have, I believe, What's New for all your clothing needs. As someone who studies fashion, it's really nice to see all the materials and stuff be used and how crinkly and nice everything feels.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of upset I didn't get the summer league stuff. I really was wishing I got that dad hat. But yeah, I won't keep you guys any longer. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night and Friday night. We should have some invite league games if you're interested. Should be pretty interesting. But yeah, I've been Blue Card and I've been joined by Keg. We hope you guys have a great night.